is enough said.
What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here, back with another Miami Heat Talk video number 2 of the day, you guys. Show some support, smash the like button, don't forget to subscribe. We are pushing to 6,000 subscribers. I want to thank everybody for your support. Now together, let's go on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Damn, I love saying that. Okay, you guys, so this is basically part 2 of the previous episode I cut earlier today. I want to say it's part 2 because it's kind of the same topic, but it's just about something a little bit different. Now, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. You can check it out right now or after you watch this video. It'll make a little more sense if you watch that video first, but hey, completely up to y'all. Anyways, I talked about the fact that Jimmy Butler had no interest in going to the Memphis Grizzlies. That there was a report yesterday that came out that Jimmy Butler is willing to go anywhere besides the Memphis Grizzlies. And of course, the Miami Heat. But he's willing to go to any team, which I'm sure every one of us calls BS on that. When this started, Shams Charania reported that there was 4 teams that Jimmy Butler wanted to go to. The Phoenix Suns, which we all know that's his number 1 destination. Other teams are the Houston Rockets, the Golden State Warriors, and the Dallas Mavericks. Those were the 4 original teams that Shams posted and talked about. It may not work for any of those teams. Now, we all know that Golden State, Houston, and Dallas, they're pretty much out of the running. Dallas was never really serious contenders. Houston and Golden State, there's no straight-up trade that they can make. Both teams are going to have to add multiple players and a draft pick or 2 to get Jimmy Butler because they would be competing. So Golden State would have to give somebody something like Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga and maybe another piece or 2. And then they'd have to include a draft pick for Jimmy Butler. Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and Draymond Green all recently came out and said they don't feel that the Golden State Warriors should sacrifice their future in order to win now. So maybe that puts them out of the running. Does that change? Who knows? There's always been mutual interest. With Houston, Houston's already a top 4 team in the West. I'm sure they feel that their team is good enough. They see what Jimmy Butler is doing with this whole trade process. They may not want to get involved in that because they have a nice young core and they are going to have to trade multiple pieces, just like I said about Golden State, to get Jimmy. Or if they can surround the trade around Fred VanVleet, but he has a $43 million contract for this year and a team option for next year. The team holds all the cards. Jimmy has a player option. So I'm sure the way that they're looking at it is like, we have our veteran already in Fred VanVleet. Yeah, Jimmy Butler's a better playoff performer, but I'm sure they may like what they have. So it kind of takes both of them out of the running. Phoenix has one option, Bradley Beal, which we all know the Miami Heat do not want. So the only way that trade can happen, the only way that Jimmy Butler can get the destination that he wants, because they're the only team that's willing to pay him that money, is if there's a 3rd and 4th, maybe 5th team involved. But Bradley Beal holds all the cards. Bradley Beal has a no trade clause. One of 2 players in the NBA that have that. LeBron James being the other one. It's ridiculous. That means that if whatever team that Phoenix wants to send him to, Bradley Beal has to approve it. Now, there was also another report earlier that Milwaukee was interested in Bradley Beal, and the interest was mutual, but apparently that report is not true. Is it true or not? Who knows? Honestly, you guys, we really don't know. But at the end of the day, let's say if there's not a situation where there is another team that's willing to take Bradley Beal, then the Miami Heat and Phoenix Suns trade goes bye-bye. That's really what it is. Bradley Beal holds all the cards. It's not about if a team is willing to take Bradley Beal. It's about, does Bradley Beal also want to go there? It's really a difficult situation, you guys. Bradley Beal has one of the worst contracts in the NBA, and he has a no-trade clause. Phoenix got themselves in a terrible hole here. So we may have a situation where Jimmy Butler is not moved by the trade deadline. However, it was reported after the video I posted earlier today that the Memphis Grizzlies may still be interested in Jimmy Butler. I want to read a report that was posted by ESPN earlier today where they were talking about Jimmy Butler's trade situation. And I'm going to read this quote here. The Memphis Grizzlies are lurking in Butler trade talks, sources said, and have been in contact with the Miami Heat during the process. Rival league executives believe the Memphis Grizzlies are trying to combine a talent influx of offloading some future salary so it can facilitate a contract extension for Jaren Jackson Jr. as early as this summer, a reigning Defensive Player of the Year. Jimmy Butler, meanwhile, has made it known that he can opt out of his contract this summer and seek free agency. Sources have theorized that if the Memphis Grizzlies can acquire him for a playoff run and also free cap space this summer, that's where their intentions and interest might lie. End quote. This makes a lot of sense. You guys, back in 2018, when the Toronto Raptors traded for Kawhi Leonard from the San Antonio Spurs, he did not want to go there. There was multiple reports, multiple people saying that Kawhi, there was rumors before the trade happened that Toronto was interested. And it was reported that Kawhi didn't want to go there. And Masai Ujiri, the general manager for the Toronto Raptors, said, screw it. We have a contending team. This guy is better than DeMar DeRozan. If I trade for him, I can sell him on it. And he might not extend. They won a championship. They couldn't convince Kawhi to stay, but they won a championship. Memphis might be looking at that same situation. They can get certain players off their books. Guys like Marcus Smart. Luke Kennard has an expiring contract, but Brandon Clark has a few years left. So if you trade all of that for Jimmy Butler, you can have a deep playoff run. I mentioned it earlier, you guys. Give me a team of Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jimmy Butler. I'm sure Jimmy Butler will find his joy back with a winning team. He may not want to go there, but winning solves a lot. And this can help the Miami Heat. Luke Kennard is a sniper. We know what Marcus Smart can do. We played a lot against them against the Boston Celtics. We know what a motivated Marcus Smart brings. Brandon Clark is another size presence that you can have. These are three guys that can help us now. They're all off the books by 2026, so you have flexibility with this trade. I've said it from the beginning, you guys, and I will continue to say it. The Memphis Grizzlies is the perfect trade partner, unless you're willing to do unless you're able to do a multi-team trade. The Milwaukee Bucks reported earlier that Chris Middleton and Bobby Portis are available. These were the two guys that were linked to come to the Miami Heat, but none of that happens. None of that happens if the Phoenix Suns can't convince Bradley Beal to waive his no-trade clause. So I'm sure this is going to get further and further, you guys. I'm sure this might drag out a little bit. We may wake up one day and a trade between Memphis and Miami has happened. And if Jimmy doesn't like it, who gives a crap? Peace. Figure that out on your own. Jimmy doesn't have a no-trade clause that he can send Jimmy wherever they want. If a team is willing to take Jimmy Butler, look, guys, it could work for this team too. It could work for the other team. I mean, if you're a playoff contending team, it's a bad idea to trade for a guy that doesn't want to be there, but this is a guy that's still going to get off your books. That's $52 million in cap space you'll get. And with this new NBA collective bargaining agreement, it works. So Heat Nation, I want to hear from you. Do you think a trade will likely happen to the Phoenix Suns for Jimmy Butler? Or do you think Memphis Grizzlies are going to swoop in the 11th hour and take our guy? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for your support. Enjoy your weekend. Until next time, your boy Ernest out. And that is enough said. Let's go Heat.